Disclaimer, this video was made for strictly comedic/artistic purposes. No offense is intended towards any individual featured in this video.
So we're here in Austin, Texas. We came down here for the Tesla Robotaxi rollout. Started on Sunday.
Are you going to have full autonomous on the roads of Austin by the end of June?
Yes.
Smart as a whip, isn't he? Now about this amusing little gadget.
This is not the widespread rollout of Tesla Cybercabs or Robotaxis that investors, customers, and fans have been promised. That said, there are a lot of people who really do believe in this company and do believe in Elon Musk and think it's just a matter of time.
Here it is. It found me. It came right here. Perfect.
I thought it was extremely smooth, everything we saw, not just from a safety perspective, maneuverability was way impressive. I thought actually better than even Waymo coming out of the gate.
Uber's self-driving cars may be history in Arizona, but competitor Waymo is greenlighting a program expansion, which would put tens of thousands of new vehicles on the roads.
And the self-driving taxis will show up with no one behind the wheel.
This isn't how Jerica Mitchell thought her Waymo experience would go.
This is going to be our first time riding one.
She and her friend are visiting the Valley from Arkansas and had always wanted to ride in one.
Because we've always seen them, like on Instagram.
So they ordered it. And while waiting for its arrival near 7th Avenue and Roosevelt in Phoenix, this happened.
Yeah, we were real shocked.
The driverless car was going down this alley and crashed into a pole that was off to the side, crushing the front end of the car.
We heard the smack at first, but we didn't realize that it was the car.
If Waymo expands like it wants to expand, its fleet is going to increase more than 100 times over.
Waymo is going big. The company, powered by Google, announcing it intends to increase its fleet from 600 to as many as 62,000.
That was a lie.
By the end of this year, many of us will be able to hitch a ride from a car that has no one else in it.
It's definitely scary, but most technology is until you try it.
Chandler is one of 6 Arizona communities Waymo already tests in. The city says it welcomes the expansion.
The city really sees this as the future. We believe in the technology. We believe in what Waymo is doing.
We're in the middle of the road. Literally lane 3 of 3. It's a little scary. I don't want to get out.
Mac, you literally...
we're working to get you back on your way, okay?
Okay. So we're gonna have to deal with a human now.
Mac
That's what
insisted
you're about?
that this was...
There's cars whizzing by.
Yeah, I know.
Give me a moment. So the car will try to move on its own, but if it happens, we'll not be able to.
Okay.
A member of our team will pick up the car.
Okay.
Got it. Okay. That's...
I know, this is why you don't do fucking driverless vehicles. Look at this. What are you doing?
Interesting that Waymo, I love it. Waymo run to the parade.
Yeah, Waymo, one of those driverless cars in San Francisco, got caught up in the parade. Waymo began testing its autonomous cars in 2021, but maybe they didn't have parades in mind. This vehicle got stuck near San Francisco's Fisherman's Wharf yesterday, right in the middle of the Veterans Day parade. And you can see police trying to move the car. In a statement, Waymo says the vehicle carefully came to a stop and was later manually driven away by its roadside assistance team.
All this coming just 2 months after a self-driving Uber killed a woman in Tempe. But in a recent forum, Waymo's CEO seemed to suggest his company cars would have reacted differently.
We have a lot of confidence that our technology would be robust and would be able to handle situations like that one.
Either way, the technology is coming. And concerns aside, Chandler says it wants to be a part of history.
We really believe that this is the future and that it has really implications for society at large, and that we really want to be a part of this.
Dan Ives, a Wedbush analyst and Tesla bull, received an invitation and his team took a ride.
And I think the other thing is that this is just the start, because I think a year from now, 25 to 30 cities, it speaks to this $1 trillion autonomous valuation that we believe it will be for Tesla.
But the trips weren't without incident.
I showed up and, the service launched on Monday. It was supposed to start at 6 a.m. And by 6:30, I'd already found it doing dangerous stuff.
The lie detector determined that was a lie.
By the way, the only reason that Ed appears in any of the media is to sell copies of his totally great book. I'm sure it's great. You should go buy it. Let me just read this. Exposing the fraudulence of Elon Musk and Tesla. Investigative journalist and automotive industry expert Edward Noodlebrain, author of Buy This Book... explains how Musk and Tesla have gotten away with so much lying and fraudulence. Or perhaps this podcast title with Ed. Tesla is a fraud. Ed argues that Elon Musk is a huckster with a particular genius for selling implausible products and making old ideas feel futuristic and new. But his overwhelming wealth, influence, and cult-like following is making him a danger to the rest of us.
CNBC reached out to Tesla multiple times to try to get a robotaxi ride or a comment, but we did not hear back. This is a pretty pivotal moment for Tesla. This is where they demonstrate whether they can transition from being a mass producer of electric vehicles to a company that's centered around autonomous vehicles and robotics. We came down here to talk to people, to interview some folks, some people who are supportive, some people who are very critical and skeptical, some people who wonder whether Tesla can even do what they are attempting to do with technology they have and the approach that they're taking.
Where this whole thing gets really troubling is that in a lot of ways, what Elon Musk is doing is endangering public roads that are already a very dangerous place, putting half-baked technology in pursuit of something that he'll never be able to deliver on.
I believe in Tesla more. I tried different, even in Europe, I tried the Chinese ones. They're not as saying they're smaller, but I believe in Tesla.
So you've tried the autonomous vehicles in China? Oh, far out. All right.
Self-driving cars are cool until someone dies. After a fatal crash in China, regulators are slamming the brakes on autopilot hype. Here's what changed. In March, a Xiaomi SU7 crashed, killing 3 people. The car's driver assist system failed just seconds before impact. This tragedy led China's Ministry of Industry and Information Technology to hold an emergency meeting with major automakers like BYD and XPeng. The government's new message: tighter rules are needed.
This rollout is a long time coming. Elon Musk has been promising for years, close to a decade.
At some point in the future, like maybe 5 or 6 years from now, I think we'll be able to achieve true autonomous driving, where you could literally get in the car, go to sleep, and wake up at your destination. But in order to do that, you have to have fully redundant systems. Everything's got to be redundant so that any one system breaking does not result in an accident. And you also have to prove that out over millions of miles of driving, and then of course then we have to prove that to the regulators to convince them that it's safe, and so I think from the point at which true autonomous driving is possible, which I now think is probably in the 5 or 6 year time frame.
You said that before, though, 5 to 6 years, yeah.
A couple of years ago, I thought it was more like 10 years, but based on the rate of improvement that I'm seeing and the progress we're making, I think we'll probably be able to do it in 5 or 6 years. And then, but it's probably still going to take 2 or 3 years after that before the regulators approve it, because they'll want to make sure that it's truly a lot safer than driving with a person. And the standard for fully autonomous driving is going to be much greater than for a person.
Right.
Because if it's just equivalent, that wouldn't be enough.
Tesla vehicles will be able to drive themselves, that you would even be able to rent out your Tesla as a robotaxi and collect revenue on the vehicle while you slept. Of course, none of that has happened yet.
In the meantime, Waymo has been going from one city to the next to the next. They've been growing their fleet size and their geofences and the number of cities that they're operating in at a faster and faster and faster rate. So Elon Musk's whole argument that Waymo's approach won't scale is being proven wrong.
LiDAR is a fool's errand.
And anyone relying on LiDAR is doomed. Doomed. Expensive sensors that are unnecessary. It's like having a whole bunch of expensive appendices. Like one appendix is bad, well, now they want to put a whole bunch of them. I don't actually super hate LiDAR as much as it may sound. SpaceX Dragon uses LiDAR to navigate to the space station and dock. Not only that, SpaceX developed its own LiDAR from scratch to do that, and I spearheaded that effort personally. Because in that scenario, LiDAR makes sense. And in cars, it's friggin' stupid. It's expensive and unnecessary. Once you solve vision, it's worthless.
Another thing to keep in mind here is that Tesla is taking a very different approach than pretty much everybody else. A lot of other companies are using things like LiDAR and radar on their cars. Tesla isn't using any of that. Tesla's ultimate aim is to make every single Tesla on the road everywhere in the world capable of self-driving. And that's really different from what Waymo and these other companies are doing. They're basically starting with, deploying vehicles in very concentrated areas like Austin, Phoenix, San Francisco, and just trying to get that area down as well as they can, and then open it up to ride share.
If you're developing what Tesla says it's developing, which is a general solution to self-driving, where any of their cars will work anywhere, right? Will self-drive itself safely anywhere. That's very different than what's happening here in Austin, where we're seeing sort of Tesla moving towards what Waymo has been doing all along. There's two admissions here that Tesla is doing that are admitting that what Waymo is doing and Zoox and others is the right approach.
But I do find it rather interesting that here is Ed once again sharing his opinions on Tesla. And surprisingly, they seem to be a bit negative once again. Imagine my shock.
Number one is they're constraining the geofence. They have a tiny little geofence, right? It's only in South Austin. They're doing that so they can have the statistical certainty that it's safe. But they're also using LiDAR because they know that the camera system alone doesn't know what it doesn't know. It doesn't know always when it's safe and when it's not.
And now we have Volkswagen that is saying that they will also launch robotaxis in 2026 and will overtake Tesla. So yet another little statement that we can keep an eye on to see what will happen. Because Volkswagen also claimed that they will overtake Tesla in EV sales in 2018, but that did not quite happen. We are still waiting for that one.
This uses different technology and stuff, but it's good. Okay.
As it slams the brakes, we got it. What do you think now? Oh my gosh, the timing could not have been better. Hit the brakes so hard. Oh.